and dress up like an old peddler woman, so that not even your own mirror could have known you. It was in this disguise that you went to the house of the 7 dwarfs to take matters into your own hands.
You arrived to the house in your evil disguise, saying such beautiful things, such pretty things, such fair things that a young girl could not resist.
You laced Snow White with new laces, so quickly and viciously and tightly that Snow White lost her breath and fell down as though dead.
But you didn't kill her this time.
The dwarf saved her by cutting the laces.
So when the mirror told you that Snow White was still alive and well, you grew mad, didn't you, Miss Lamia?
You arrived again in a different disguise and combed her locks of ebony hair with vigour and determination.
And with a comb so full of poison that once you stuck it into her scalp, she instantly dropped down as though dead to the floor. But yet again, the dwarves came to the rescue of little Snow White, and once they removed the comb and washed the poison from her head, she lived on, as she soon found out from your telling mirror. It was then, Miss Lamia, that you were heard screaming at your mirror.
Snow White shall die, even if it costs me my life.
That's when you went into a quiet, secret, lonely room where no one ever went, and made that very poisonous apple, an apple so pretty, crisp and white with a blood-red cheek, so that everyone that saw it longed for it, for whoever ate a piece would surely die.
Again, you stained your face, disguising yourself as a farmer's wife. And although Snow White was reluctant to let you in at first, you convinced her to eat the poisoned apple by cutting it into 2 pieces.
You eat the red cheek, and I will eat the white.
You told Snow White. Snow White couldn't resist anymore. She reached out of the window and took the poisonous half, took the light and died.
Snow White, blood red, black as coffin wood. This time, the 7 dwarfs will find you dead for good.
It was then, Miss Lamia, that you hurried home to a magical mirror. You asked the mirror your usual question, and this time the mirror replied,
O Queen in this land, you are fairest of all.
The dwarfs could not save Snow White, so they placed it in a glass coffin, placed it up on a mountain top. They laid it in it, wrote her name in gold letters, and put that she was the daughter of a king.
One of the dwarfs would always guard the coffin.
Birds came to weep for Snow White. First an owl, then a raven, and last a dove.
And now for my final witness, Prince Charming.
It happened as I came to the forest. I saw the coffin glinting like a mirror on the mountain. When I went to investigate further, I saw Snow White inside, and what was written in letters of gold. She was the most beautiful girl I had ever seen, and although she lay as still as a night, I lifted the coffin lid and gave her a small kiss on her delicate white cheek. As I leant in further, the coffin dropped and smashed to the floor. A piece of poisoned apple fell out. At once, Snow White sat up, opened her eyes and said,
Heavens! Where am I? You have saved my life, and I shall love you more than my heart can hold.
Then I shall marry and honour and cherish you above all else in the world.
Miss Lamia, you are unaware of Snow White being rescued by Prince Charming. You are unaware that a simple kiss on her pale white cheeks could have saved Snow White's life. You are unaware, weren't you, Miss Lamia, that Snow White was married in secret to her beloved prince, and you had been kept hidden from the royal celebration by even your husband, the king.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who in this land is fairest of all?
You are the old queen, that much is true. But the new young queen is so much fairer than you.
You couldn't bear that, could you, Miss Lamia? You cursed and swore, and when you walked in and saw it was Snow White, you stood like a statue of hate. That is all, Your Honour. I just have one further question for the king. And what about the key? Did you ever see the key?
The only key I ever saw was the small gold one she wore around her neck. She never removed it and said it was a gift from her own mother.
No further questions. We will now move on to our next prosecution.
2 daughters who were left with no mother.
One of whom was pretty and industrious.
The other was ugly and idle. Their father found a new stepmother for the girls, and he thought that she would love them as her own.
However, she was much fonder of the ugly and idle one, and she posed no threat to the vain stepmother.
The pretty daughter was obliged to do all the work and be the Cinderella of the house.
Every day, the poor girl had to sit by a well on the highway and spin until her fingers bled.
I'd like to call my first witness, the father.
It started with an advert I read in Enchanted. It was almost like magic when we met. You see, I was really looking for a mother for my child, and she was kind, caring, and the children adored her.
Now it happened that one day the shuttle was marked with her blood, so she dipped it into the well to wash the mark off.
I'd like to call my second witness, the pretty daughter. Can you explain what happened next?
I dropped it out of my hand, and it fell to the bottom of the well. I began to weep and sob. I couldn't believe that I was going to have to tell my stepmother and mummy myself.
The evil stepmother scolded the pretty stepdaughter sharply, and was so merciless as to say,
Since you have let the shuttle fall in the well, you must go and fetch it out again.
I couldn't believe it. I did not know what to do. And so I went back to the well, and with all the sorrow in my heart, I jumped in. True. I went along the meadow, and after a short while, I came to a baker's oven full of bread, and the bread cried out to me.
Take me out!
Take me out or I shall burn!
I've been baked a long time. So I went up to it, and I took the loaves out, one after the other, with a bread shovel. I then continued on my journey, until I came to a tree covered with apples. Again it cried out to me.
Shake me!
Shame me! We apples are all right!
So with all my strength, I shook the tree, until all the apples fell like rain. I went on shaking, until they were all down. I then gathered them in a heap, and I went on my way. After a short while, I came to a little house, out of which an old woman peeped. She had such large teeth, that I was frightened, and I was about to run away.
What are you afraid of, dear child? Stay with me. If you do all the work in the house, you shall be better for it. Only you must take care to make my bed up, and shake it thoroughly until the feathers fly. Where there is no on earth, I am Mother Holder.
I'd like to call my third witness. Of your relationship with the pretty girl.
She always shook the bed so vigorously. The feathers flew back like snowflakes. I had a pleasant life with her. I never had any need for angry words, and we had boiled or roast meat every day. She stayed some time with me, but then she became sad. At first I did not know what was the matter with her, but then found out it was homesickness.
Although I knew I was 1,000 times better off than the Holder, I was still longing to be at my real home. And so I told Mother Holder that I was longing for home, and that no matter how well off I am down here, I must go up again to my own people.
I was so pleased that she longed for home.